I'm about to show you something real quick. So I want you to look here. See, this is the Louis Vuitton store. And you see this big long line of people waiting outside the Louis Vuitton store. Louis Vuitton it's owned in, or run, the majority owner of the company is a guy named Bernard Arnault. Mr. Arnault is worth $131 billion. $131 billion. So he probably makes more money in about 2 hours than 90% of all people make in their entire lifetime. I think he probably makes as much as $10 million a day. And a lot of his money comes from the fact that he's able to convince people to stand in long lines like this out in the cold. It's cold and it's raining. And I don't know how much money the people in line make, but and there's some mixed crowd, diverse crowd. But he's been able to do that, figure out how to get people to do that. Also, Arnault owns some other brands you might have heard of called Moet. A lot of rappers love to talk about Moet, drinking Moet. Hennessy, he owns Henny. And I don't know how he feels about black people, but you can tell me in the chat if you think that Mr. Arnault cares anything about the black community, if he cares anything about black wealth, if he cares anything even about Black Lives Matter. I'd be curious to know that. I'm not dissing, but I will say that a lot of this is psychological. They have the security guard that only allows so many people in the store at a certain time, and the big crowd standing outside in the cold, in the rain, waiting to get into the store. That kind of creates this sort of mystique and allure that will make you want to go in and spend, $400, $500, $1,000 for a bag. And here's the thing. Here's the reason I'm bringing this up. Not because I'm hating on Mr. Arnault. I mean, his game is airtight, obviously. Louis Vuitton is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Moet's worth hundreds of billions, I'm sure. Hennessy, we know Henny. Everybody drinks Henny. But I think the thing you got to consider is that there are black-owned brands that are of equally high quality. There are black-owned brands that are just as good as Louis Vuitton. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you get what I'm saying. There are black-owned brands that are as good as Henny and Moet. Black people make liquor too. You drink it, so you might as well make it, right? Not that we drink more than white people. White people actually are the biggest drinkers ever, and I'm not saying this is statistically true, but black people, people like to drink the Henny, and I just kind of want you to consider this, that this is literally billions of dollars flowing out of the black community, flowing out of a community that doesn't have a lot of money. And so just think on that a little bit. I'm not hating on Louis or get mad at you if you own Louis or Henny or Moet. I just want you to kind of process things a little bit and understand how the game is played. So, Arnault got his 130 billion. How much of our 130 billion are we going to get? His 131 billion is literally equivalent to about 10% of total spending power of the entire black community combined. So if you take all the spending power of the black community, about 1.4 trillion, Mr. Arnault owns about 10% of what the entire black community spent across the board for 40 million people. So just kind of think on that. Wealth is built by those who play the game, not those who get played. So go be a player. Be smart. See you soon. Peace.